for we've received orders to sail for old England. We hope in
Stop
short
the blasted singing!
years again. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll
I don't want to hear the singing.
All on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From O'Shantasy 'tis 35 leagues. We hove our ship.
It's great to sleep on the beach.
From southwest, boys.
But the bugs in the Caribbean
soundings clear.
are not to be toyed
45
with.
fathoms with a white sandy bottom.
I have more bites than I do skin, I think.
An old it steer. We'll rant and we'll roar
Fine.
like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea.
I'll continue with the lesson about statistics. Put me back down. Looked all night for coward that stole my sword. Better move it or I'll trip over it. Looked all night for the coward that stole my sword. Anyway, so here we go. Back again. What we're going to talk about now is graphs and charts. Another way to continue lying with statistics. Graphs and charts. Whoops. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to unfreeze it. Unfreeze, I say. Where it is. There we go. Okay. So, confusing graphics. Leave out the detail. As much detail as possible. Now again, a good study will give you the proper information. It will have a well-labeled y-axis, a well-labeled x-axis. It will tell you what they are. But if you start looking at statistics, what you're going to find is very often they don't tell you what those things are. They conceal more than they reveal. Confusing graphics, leave out information. Let the image do the talking. Let the image do the talking. That's right. You don't want to tell them too much. Do not elaborate. The earlier Maxime. So, take a look at this one. Look at that. Fear of war is at record levels, oh my goodness. We have fear of sickness. We have fear of robbery. We have fear of murder. We have fear of war. Look at it, it's all the way at 22. Damn. 22? Oh no. Okay. So I could switch this around now with Corona and make sickness more if I wanted, but it would still be equally vague and equally pointless. It doesn't say what it is even measuring. But they do this all the time, all the time. It happens all the time. You just probably don't think about it because you're not paying attention to it, but now that you see it, you will continue to see it. It really does happen all the time. So, but anyway, okay, I'll get to the colors in just a second. Now, this is the real trick, and this one they do constantly. Even reputable news sources do this constantly. Choose any scale you want for the Y scale. Whoops, I'm standing in front of the thing. Choose any scale that you want for the Y scale. All right, look at this. I'm going to show you something. Okay? Look at these two graphs here. One of them says an insignificant rise. I'm going to use my back. That's a better pointer. Sword would have had a good point on it. Anyway, you've probably never seen a video with a guy in a pirate hat using a bat to teach statistics in TOK. All right, I'm going to use this end. It says up there, a drastic rise in phobia cases. Yes, it does. And down here, it says an insignificant rise in new phobia cases. It's phobophobia. You have your fear of getting a phobia. You're phobophobic. There is, I'm making that up. But anyway, all right? But the thing is the numbers that I put into these graphs is the exact same. The statistics themselves, the actual numbers is the basis for the graph is the exact same. However, the only thing I did was I changed the y-axis. This y-axis goes from 0 to 140. The other y-axis starts at 10. It doesn't even start at 0. I don't want to show it down by 0. I want to show something in the beginning. And then it only goes to 22. So 10 and 22, it's like the 22 is like, oh my God, everybody's afraid of being afraid. Ah, I'm phobophobic. might be phobophobic. Ah, maybe even thinking about it makes me phobophobic. And so that's the thing. There's no rule to how to do your y-axis. You can do your y-axis however you like. If you want to make it look drastic, just make your y-axis bigger. Now, if you get into academia, all right, and you get into a proper sort of, scientific, educational, proper knowledge production, they're going to be like, if you do that, they're going to be like, why did you make your y-axis look like this? You have to justify making your y-axis look like this. But people are not going through that amount of sort of academic and intellectual rigor when they're presenting simple statistics on CNN and Fox and all these sort of like news networks. Nobody's looking at it, but start looking at it. Just start. Start looking at the y-axis. Start noticing the y-axis. It's revealing and concealing both. It's concealing stuff. They chose. Everything that they choose to do is a choice, and this is something you have to remember. It's a choice. It's a choice on the part of the person making the statistic to represent it and present it that way. They want to do something. It's not happening by chance. They want it to look in a particular way. And that is what you have to start getting into the thought process of why they're making it look this way. What is to their advantage to make it look that way? I mean, if I were to change these around to global warming, right? Oh, global warming, green, whoops, geez, big pirate in my. Global warming, up top, it's drastic rise in global warming to show temperatures or whatever. It doesn't even really say what it is. And then insignificant rise in global warming. You could show it however you like and pick what you want to show to be able to get your point across. And with global warming, they do this. The petroleum companies will produce statistics that show it's not really warming that much. Whereas, environmentalist places will produce statistics that show it is. And I choose to believe one over the other. I mean, I think petroleum companies have a lot to lose. So they want the statistics not to be as dramatic, but okay. Another thing, another really, really interesting trick that you can do here is manipulation of colors. Okay? Which colors do you pick to represent your thing? Do you know that when you make your graph, you can pick whatever color you like? You can get whatever pictures. You can superimpose a picture onto your graph, kind of like I've done there. You can make the whole graph look like a picture. I just did it really simply for this one. But you can make them kind of transparent so they come in, you get the whole image all over the picture, all over the graph. But in these ones, these colors here, these are nothing special. If I were to really be doing proper statistics, I wouldn't be using regular PowerPoint colors, which they offer there. I'd at least go into the color palette and make some that I want. But it gets the point across. And so if you use drab colors, this one says here, poverty rises again. And there's a picture of like a garbage dump girl over there. Some kid obviously living in the garbage dump. And look at it, poverty rises again. Gray colors, depressing picture, so on and so forth. And so it shows a drastic rise. I stretch out the y-axis between 12 and 37. I'm showing this drastic rise in poverty. But again, it's the same exact data as the other one. The other one says poverty increase slows. So I use more happy colors. I mean, it kind of looks like this crazy like Easter egg colors or something, but it's more happy than those ones, I guess. Like I said, I can make the colors better. And so, people growing crops, dressed up in school uniforms somewhere in Africa. And the y-axis is stretched from 0 to 200. Why did I choose 12 to 37? And why did I choose 0 to 200? Because I want the graphs to look like this. I put the title up here. Poverty increase slows. I want to show that it's going up, but it's slowing. It's not going up. Poverty rises again. I want to show it's super drastic. Look at it. Only 2 years ago it was down here. Now it's all the way up to the top of the chart. Oh my God. Oh my goodness me. What's happening? And so this is the idea of the kind of thing that you can do. And it's so easy. And there's no governing body telling every statistician maker, every statistician and graph creator to use these colors. No, you get to choose. You get to choose what you use to do. And if you want it to look depressing, and if you want it to look drastic, and if you want it to look, or normal, or if you want it to, whatever you want, whatever you want it to look like. Make it look like that. Just stick the numbers in it that you have. Stretch the y-axis to how you want it. You will see some, like, even on the news, you see it all the time. They'll be like, they will start the y-axis in the negative numbers. Because it's more drastic when they stretch it out. And it happens. Just look. It's really shocking to see how much people are manipulated by the use of statistics. Okay, important points to remember about the use of graphs. Okay, here's some. Use confusing and vague graphs. Don't put too much information on it. You want to get your point across and say it. And say this is what it is. And then you want an image which supports that claim. Don't put a bunch of other information in there. Simple, straightforward, to-the-point graphics. Now, this is not, I mean, you still want them simple and legible and stuff like that if you're an academic. If you're going to make a real proper graph, unlike your thesis and stuff like that, if you're doing whatever, or your extended essay, or like your psych experiment, or anything like that, you need to make proper graphs. I mean, but this is for fooling the masses, and this is what happens in the mass media all the time. It's like they're constantly doing it. Choose a scale which suits your needs best. That's all you have to do. Choose a scale which suits your needs best. Whatever you want. Make it look good. Manipulate colors and pictures to create a tone which is to your advantage. All right? And then, yeah, that's what you do. So, say you do random sampling. I'll just do the concluding hints. This was a little bit of summary. And then, after I finish this one up, I'm going back to sleep. Got rudely awakened by those horrible singers singing these silly ballads they sing on the ships all the time. Be sure to use loaded questions. In your questions, what do I mean by this? Let's say I ask this question. Let's say I go to inner city areas which may not have the best relationship with the police. Okay? And let's say, because this is kind of a pretty current thing, and let's say I were to go ask them, how much more violent have the police become in the last 5 years? On a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being super duper more violent, 3 being pretty much more violent, and 1 being a little more violent. Okay? How much more violent have the police become in the last 5 years when dealing with people? And so people write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Okay? Now, why is this a loaded question? Because I'm assuming in the question that police have become more violent. I can even put a 0 there and not more violent, but people are like 0 and then up to 5. But people are guided by the question. They're steered to answer in a particular way by the question itself. So let's say they put 1. Even if they put 1, that means they're more violent. And I don't have to say, then I can say in my statistics when I report, 100% of the people think police are more violent. I don't have to give the details of how much more violent, whatever. I don't have to show the questions that I was asked on my representation of the statistical information. All I have to do is show the results. And so when you see these statistics, you don't see the questions. Sometimes they put them out, the better ones will put them out, but a lot of them don't even put out the questions. And you'll see loaded questions. We should do a thing about finding some, but you'll see them. I saw one today, I can't remember what it said, but it was a loaded question. Anyway, and so that's the idea. That's how you do it. That's how you get the information that you want. You find questions which will make people answer them the way you want answered, then you report that answer, and then you make it seem like it's so honest and unbiased. Confuse correlation with causation. Correlation with causation, okay? Obviously the pirates, decreased pirates and increased global temperatures is it's not causation. Obviously, lack of pirates are not causing global warming, okay? But I can just pick 2 random things and I can say there's a correlation between them. I can just make a fake correlation. And it seems like it's causation. I mean, I could probably say how many people believe in the Easter Bunny. Like belief in the Easter Bunny and global warming. Or belief in the Easter Bunny and police violence. I mean, I could probably find some correlation between up and down belief in the police bunny and up and down but if I just put them together, it makes it seem like there's a causal factor. People fall for it all the time. They do it all. It is done all the time when you look on the news. Causation, correlation. Correlation means correlation is not causation. It means there's a relationship between them. Like for instance, there's a relationship between lung cancer and smoking. Now, obviously it's a cause, and the medical profession knows that it's a cause, but you'll still see companies say that it's a correlation, because it's true. There are some people that can smoke and smoke and smoke, and they'll never get lung cancer. And so it becomes a correlation, but there's a high correlation. So I mean, if it was completely one-to-one, let's say like stepping off of a cliff and falling to the ground and hurting yourself, well, that would be I mean, that's the cause, of course, but that would be a very strong correlation between hurting yourself and stepping off a cliff. So you would almost say that's causation. But correlation and causation are not the same thing. So if you can confuse those, and you can make relationships to things which aren't even related, then you know, they do this with the economy a lot. They'll switch around and say, you know, ideas and economy, like the economy is causing the ideas. Well, it's not necessarily that case. There's a correlation. Anyway, try again. If you do a sample, do you have to use that first sample? No, you don't have to use the first sample. Why don't you just, if you get an answers in your first sample you don't like, just throw them out and go do new ones. Go somewhere else and find new samples. That's all you have to do. You can do it as much as you want. How many times have people done the sample when they show you the results? You know? No, nobody knows. They don't have to report about 15 tries they did and didn't get the answer they want. Finally, eventually, you'll get any answer that you look for. And with that, I think I've done my duty. I need to get some more beauty sleep. I'm going to the barber later. I'm gonna have them shave this off. But anyway, so Bob's. I guess you can sing again, but sing something different. All right?
I thought I heard the old man say,
I'm going back to bed.
Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow ye will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her.
Good night.
Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the